Hey, Croc, back again with another Payday video, and recently I understand I've been complaining a little bit when talking about this game. So much so, an actual dev saw the video I made last time. To that dev, your work on the animation is one of the best things about this game currently, and I thought, why not actually give 10 ideas on what I want to see implemented into this game? Why 10? I don't know. It's a nice round number, and these aren't in a specific order, just a more general list that I want to see implemented into this game. Also, these are mainly going to be smaller changes to the game, as I understand big gameplay changes do take a while to be implemented, so these are just more sort of things that will make the game feel a bit better. Alright, let's start it off. Number 1. Okay, the first change I would love to see would be if Starbreeze would actually allow people to create almost a Steam Workshop style thing for the game, which would allow people to create their own masks, outfits, gun skins, gloves for the game, and then these could then be implemented into the game with sort of like a vote feature. So every week we could see the top 5 most voted things get implemented into the game. As you can tell, I'm pretty inspired by Counter-Strike's skin system, and if they wanted to, they could then have these community created cosmetics be purchased by players for maybe real money to support these creators themselves. One thing the Payday community do hate, however, is microtransactions of any kind. Just the thought of them pre-launch Payday 3 caused so much holler on the Reddit and Twitter and everywhere. But honestly, I do think this game needs some sort of way to add more cosmetics more rapidly, as well as people being able to support this game a bit more, as it's been made abundantly clear that this game does need a bit more support in terms of monetarily gained. And also, please add a crocodile mask. I really want one in the game badly. Number 2. Carrying on with cosmetics, the way we ourselves can actually customize these cosmetics, I think does need to be expanded a bit further. As honestly, I think the mask customization system should also be applied to outfits and gloves to allow for a better way to color match your outfits. I don't think this will happen as there is already outfits with multiple colorways in the base game, but let me dream a bit. I want to be able to make the funny Jugut Suit in the game, and I just think this would be a great expansion of the customization feature. And leading on from this, number 3, an expanded mask customization system with a shop to allow us to buy more patterns, colors, and materials to be applied to these cosmetics. The current system is okay, but the lack of color and patterns makes it feel worse than what was available in Payday 2. A big long shot dream I would like to see would be the ability to actually create our own patterns and also be very specific with colors down to the RGB value of the color. I understand this is a very specific thing to ask for, but I kind of want something similar to Warframe's customization features, which allowed us to specifically pick the shades of each color on our outfits. And I do just think this would increase the drip in the game in general and actually make the customization a good end game feature for people to really engage with. And also something like a wardrobe with sort of outfit setups would be a real nice addition as well with this, as this would then allow people to make multiple outfits. There is nothing I hate more than having gun setups that look different, and it just is annoying to have to change everything around when you want to change your look up. If I could just make outfits which have all different color schemes that apply to all guns, I think this would be a cool system in place. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, weapons expanded. Honestly, I just want more attachments that do more things in general, and an example of this would be different types of bullets like Dragon's Breath rounds for shotguns, hollow point for pistols, and maybe something extreme like explosive rounds for rifles. Payday is at its best when the player can create truly wacky loadouts, so giving us more options for this just makes the game a better experience for everyone. Number 5, CrimeNet. Honestly, this is one I do think will happen eventually. This game does need some sort of server browser, but CrimeNet on its own, just the style of it, the look and the feel of it, added so much to Payday 2, and it also allowed for lobbies to have certain modifiers. So imagine this, you take the CrimeNet scene and then you expand the modifier system, and you have chances for these empty lobbies to have even more different modifiers to be applied to it, and you could go crazy with these modifiers, like, you know, the basic ones like double money, XP, or something different, maybe more aggressive cop response time, or more dozers on the map. Just a few thoughts, just straight off my dome, but I would really like to see this game expand the more random element that the game can have, as the modifiers are something I think that they should really push more, as this would make the base heists on their own more replayable. But that's just me. Number 6, we need more stuff to buy. Honestly, this is one thing I think the game truly does need. Currently, there is not a lot to buy in the game. Items in general, it's just guns and customization stuff. There is not enough just things for us to actually buy with the money we earn. And this could be simple things like being able to buy stuff for missions, like equipment and stuff like that, like maybe ammo things, or just anything in general that can be used in the missions. Or maybe, just maybe, this can lead on to my next point, which is another feature I'd like to see return. Number 7, the safe house. Imagine, the safe house returns in the game, but different. As the player, we can now invest into the safe house to buy upgrades to the safe house, which can give us buffs in the game, or, you know, unlock us new weapons, but all of these require us to invest our actual money into it. So I think this would be a good thing for the game to actually have some good grinding elements inside of it, as currently the current level system is okay, but there's nothing really in-game to grind for, and you could go crazy with some really cool masks that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to obtain, and could allow people to show off their progress experience a bit better. Number 8, more overkill weapons. Honestly, just more weapons in general, but more crazy sort of weapons in the game itself. If they want to keep the overkill weapon system in place, I think a good range of weapons that are all good should be provided. I'll give a couple examples, the obvious ones: minigun, flamethrower, RPG, bazookas. They're all obvious, but I'll give a couple more unique ideas. A Jugut Suit. Let us become a dozer and become an absolute tank. Instead of dealing insane damage, let us take insane damage ourselves. How do you balance it though? You just reduce the movement speed and visibility. An organized squad can then give this player with the Jugut Suit a minigun and let them run riot, just allowing us to change up the gameplay moment to moment a bit better and actually make going for these overkill weapons more worth it. Personal want of an overkill weapon I would like would be a massive harpoon gun. Think of it as a really powerful sniper rifle that one-shots any enemy on the map. How do you balance it? Give it a really long reload speed or give it extremely limited ammo, maybe 1 or 2 shots. Just imagine having this massive dozer enemy that you just put 1 round in and just drops. It would make actually going for this overkill weapon feel worthwhile. But they're just 2 ideas and you can really go crazy with them. Acid launchers or ice ball guns or whatever you can think of. There is a lot in this game that you could do. Number 9, more enemies. Honestly, the game currently just does not have enough enemies in general. Payday 2 had a lot of variations on things like Skull Dozer, the Medic Dozer, the Z Dozer. You had loads of different wings, but what I specifically want is more boss-like enemies, like Captain Winters to return, and on that, more unique enemies. In Payday, there is a few boss enemies in the past, 2 of them being the FBI van and Captain Winters, but I'd like to see some new ones. Imagine a cloaker type enemy that once it downs a player, it then moves on to the next player. This would be something like the Witch from Left 4 Dead, but more aggressive, and I think having something that disrupts the general play of the game would actually be better for the game in general. This is just one idea I had in my head, but you could go crazy, having enemies that do stuff to the map. Maybe, they have, imagine like a small tank sort of thing, or just crazy stuff in general that I think if we expanded our arsenal a bit better, you can go with the enemies, expanding them even further and making them crazier. That's just a thought. And number 10, the obvious one, heist variety. Be it more heist in general, and each heist having more variety in the gameplay moment to moment, be it changing the objectives, random spawns for objectives, and for God's sake, more engaging objectives in the heist. Please, no more circles. I can't take it anymore. I'm begging you. Also, add more old heists. You've got some great old ones in the past that you can pull from and use them to pad the game out a bit more. And honestly, that's all I really think of. The game just needs more padding. Anyway, that's enough from me. See you around. Crocodile.